Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Brookman. I'm the CEO of Airship and Toggle, and I'm here as part of our Come Back Strong campaign. And this is the very first fireside chat without the fire with Rupert Macfarlane from the Advanced Sales Network. Welcome, Rupert.
Hi, Dan.
We are going to be talking about pre-booking today, and we're just going to have 10 minutes. We're going to have a quick chat, and I've known Rupert since 2008, 2009. Rupert was the sales director for Novus Leisure, which was a collection of around 40 late night venues around London, and also the Tiger Tigers, and also responsible for late night London actual booking engine. And between 2008 and 2016, 17, Novus Leisure were the absolute gods at pre-booking. They were driving all of the industry, and everybody basically wanted to be them. Rupert has worked with casual dining. He's currently working with a mate of mine up at True North in Sheffield, collection of pubs. He's worked for the Breakfast Club. And as I say, we're just going to have a chat about what we think's changed. So over to you, Rupert. The first question I'm going to ask, obviously, is following the pandemic, what do you think will have changed? How are the public going to interact with hospitality operators?
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, my thought process is that there's been a marked change in the way that people have interacted with their consumers. Bars and restaurants and hospitality groups have really seen that pre-booking has become ever more prevalent over the last 6, 9, 12 months. And that's partly down to the track and trace, and partly down to just changes in behaviours and needing to have a lot more security at the time in terms of what's coming in on the day and what's coming in for the week. So having data as well as helping get back to customers if there's been a need to change because of curfews or changes of parties from 10 down to the rule of 6 and those sorts of things. So pre-booking has become ever more relevant, and I don't think that's going to change. I think even when we're back to a complete normal, I think people are now thinking it's great to have a booking, it's great to have that confidence. I know where I'm going, and that leads to sort of changes in behaviours in terms of what sales teams are going to have to deal with. And I think it's interesting now that some operators are doing a very good job of even taking inquiries now at this moment in time, even though everything's closed, because there are still a lot of inquiries coming through for hen and stag parties for later in the year, for corporate events later in the year, even a couple of trickles of Christmas inquiries coming through and that sort of thing. But those operators that are on now in terms of having a sales team or someone dealing with inquiries well are going to be in better stead than the ones that haven't.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it? Because the vaccine is the vaccine. It's not another tier. It's not a lockdown and a hope that it doesn't come back. Obviously, we all accept that something could go badly wrong, and there could be a new variant, and we could be locked down for another year, God forbid. But it's the vaccine and the pressure on the government once people have had that shot in the arm to get out. I mean, it's going to be, hopefully it's going to be a little bit crazy. So do you think there's an opportunity for sales teams to grab new customers as well?
Yeah, I think another change that's going to happen, and I think partly down to the fact that over the last sort of 6 or 9 months, a lot of people haven't even been out. A lot of people haven't had an experience. So they may have lost connections with their original preferred hospitality venue, their local as it was, or their preferred requirement. So they might have lost that by now. That means that every opportunity is there for other groups to take those over. So if I had a sales team now and I was in a venue, I'd be thinking this is an ideal chance to grab new entrants. Could be in 2 different ways. That could be getting back to previous bookers we've had in the past that might be lapsed. Could be a sort of proactive campaign around local areas and driving new corporate contacts, associations, networking, affiliations, and that sort of thing. Secondly, it could be the agency market, and I think that is an untapped area for a lot of operators, not exploiting the agency market. That could be the travel and tour when that comes back. Could be hen and stag when that gets to be a very vibrant part of the business again. Could be corporate agencies. So I think a lot of proactive work is out there for the sales teams now. I think that can really benefit them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was speaking to the leader of Scarborough Council this morning, strangely. I don't speak to leaders of many councils, but with the Toggle platform, we've been doing some work with local authorities. And obviously they're expecting quite a bumper time come summer. You know, he thinks that not so many people are going to be going abroad, and that actually people are going to be doing the staycations. And that obviously, yeah, it opens up that opportunity, doesn't it?
I talk to a lot of operators all the time. I suppose there's a sort of seminal time of thinking that May might be the time when things are getting back to something like normal. Maybe there's a tiered approach to start with in terms of releasing the restrictions. I think for me, one needs to be 4 to 6 weeks ahead of the opening time. So whatever your predicted personal thoughts are on when you're going to reopen, to have a sales team or a proper inquiry management process in place, probably 4 to 6 weeks before that happens.
Okay.
So that you are capturing inquiries, you're not letting them go, even if you can't be sure that you can facilitate a 40 packs in July. At least take it, at least get it into the fold, get it into your system, build a relationship. If you can do it, great. If you can't, can you split it? Can you change it? But at least you're not losing it to a competitor.
And I think that people the public are quite acceptant now, aren't they? That if something does change, they're not going to fall out with the brand. As long as the brand treats them in the right way, you know, as long as they go back to them and say, right, you know, we're going to be shut still, let's move it down the road a little bit. And we've seen a lot of that in previous tiers.
They've been very accommodating through changes of rule of 6, through one household, and those sort of questions that have been asked. It's probably been quite an intrusive time to be asked those types of questions. I think they're more receptive than ever to having that relationship with a salesperson or a venue in total.
And tell me, what Christmas? I mean, you think you'd hope that behaviour hasn't changed that much, and we're going to have a bounce back of corporate parties and everything else. How can they best prepare for Christmas?
Well, there's 2 years worth of it's Christmas. Hopefully it's absolutely double. Hopefully it won't just be Thursday, Friday, Saturday that are absolutely packed. It will be every single day of the week. And maybe Christmas can be middle of November through to early January. It can be 7 or 8 weeks long this time.
Yeah.
So I think it's pertinent now to have a longer term plan. One of the dangers of what's happened over the last year is that we started to think very short term, and we started to think there could be a change of plan, there could be a change of tier. I think that could all happen, but I think one needs to have a longer term strategy in terms of its sort of corporate outlook that then leads to Christmas. Start a Christmas plan now. Everyone's got another month still to go. Have your Christmas plan in place. Think about what you did best in 2018, 2019. 2020 was a washout, but there were probably still some good learnings. Yeah. And this year could be a hybrid of the last 3 years anyway. So having that strong plan in place is really important, and should be a bumper Christmas. I think those that have the plan in place now will do really well. And it's obviously a long time now to Christmas. It's still 10 months, but those people you speak to between now and then will have other bookings as well. They might have a party in September, might have a party in October.
Well, I mean, you know, from experience, the key operators who are very much focused on Christmas, we're always starting on the 2nd of January anyway, or the 4th of January.
Yeah.
And contacting those big bookers and getting them in again. So I think
you're on the street is that the agencies are sitting on a big pipeline of opportunity as well. They've got a lot of corporates in their system who didn't spend the cash last year, got cash to spend this year. So yeah, interacting with the agencies as early as possible is key.
Great. Brilliant. Rupert, thanks. As I say, this first one, I think it's really great content, really sound advice for operators. And you're going to do as a training session, which is free of charge for people to join. It's on the 18th of February, so just a couple of weeks away. And it's going to be around inquiry management excellence. And obviously, this is all about this pre-booking. It's about getting sales teams trained. It's about that first call that comes in and making sure that that person converts that booking and is saying the right things, that they're basically a great salesperson.